Hey guys, it's Jeff from Press Your Luck, and today I'm going to make you a pasta you can't refuse. Alright, that was a terrible impersonation of Marlon Brando in The Godfather, but guys, we are making a pasta dish today that was inspired by an Italian hero, or sub, or hoagie, or grinder, wherever you're from. But if I don't call it a hero, I will have my New York card revoked. And I don't want that to happen. That would just be put. And it's really funny and ironic, isn't it, having a Jewish boy make an Italian dish? But it's like I always say about Jews and Italians, same behavior, different savior. And I ain't kidding, folks. This literally tastes like an Italian hero, but in a creamy, Italian, tangy pasta. We got all the meats in there, and guys, it's just so good that it's fit for a godfather or godmother. And I'm calling this one Godfather Pasta, just because, you know, it's fun. And you know how I like to just come up with creative ideas and do crazy things in the Instant Pot. And I'm telling you right now, if you do love Italian heroes, well, I think you just found your new hero. Banjo's so excited. You hear him over there? He already knows I'm making this dish. Yeah, boy, it's gonna be amazing. This is the dog father, and he is gonna be obsessed with it. Guys, I don't wanna keep the Don waiting. We gotta go right to the Instant Pot and start cooking. What do you say? What do you say to that, Banjo, huh? You gonna help me? Your breath, it smells so good right now. Let's go. Let's start with one large red onion, and let's roughly dice it up into pieces about this big. Now let's focus on our meats, because it ain't gonna be an Italian Godfather dish unless there's a lot of meat in there, guys. We like some nice Italian meat. I want to use about 5 ounces of a diced prosciutto, okay? You can take some prosciutto and cut it up yourself, or you can buy it already pre-diced, that's fine too. If not, if you can't find it, you can totally just use some thick cut bacon, about 5 or 6 slices, and then cut it into chunks as well. Alright, let's move on. Now I want to take about 4 ounces of sliced pepperoni and about 4 ounces of a dry salami or a soppressata. See how it's already thin sliced for you? Just like that. And you could also add more if you want, up to 8 ounces. But I mean, it's going to be a lot of meat if you do that. Your choice. And now I want to take all the slices here and then quarter them. So it looks like that when all is prepared, nice and cut into quarters, nice and thin, simple to do. All right, guys, let's move on. All right, let's go to our Instant Pot and add in 1/4 of a stick or 2 tablespoons of salted butter. So now I'll come to the control panel on the Instant Pot, so I'll hit the saute button and make sure I'm on the more or the high setting, okay? And once our butter is melted and bubbling, let's add our onions to the pot. And let's stir those around in the butter and let them saute for 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes of our onions sauteing, they're going to become a little bit softened and translucent. And now we're going to add in that diced prosciutto. And we'll stir that around in the pot for about another 5 minutes or so. But just want to make sure that the diced prosciutto, or if you're using diced pancetta or bacon, just becomes a little bit cooked. It doesn't have to be fully cooked. It doesn't have to be crispy either. Don't worry about that. So it's going to be pressure cooked with the pasta. Okay, we're looking good. Now we want to add in 1 cup or an 8-ounce bottle of Italian dressing. Make sure it's this kind, not like a creamy Italian. More like this. Let's add this to the pot. And now let's make sure we get in there and deglaze the bottom, making sure that any of the pancetta or any of the butter or onions, or that it was brown on the bottom and a little bit sticky, is now coming up nice and smooth. We want the bottom of that pot. You see that here? See this darkness on the right, the brown? Can't make sure we get rid of that. We want to make sure we scrape it really good. We want to see it comes off really perfectly. We want the bottom totally clear for when we cook pasta, because we don't want to have any burn issues. All right? All right. Now let's also add in 3 cups of chicken or 3 cups of garlic broth, either one you wish, along with 1½ teaspoons of Italian seasoning. And let's give that all a good stir. And now it is time to add in our pasta, and I am using Celentani or a cavatappi. It's basically like little squiggly pigtails. That's the kind I think is great for this. You can also use shells if you like the medium-sized shells. So add that to the pot. And now I'm going to smooth the top out so all of the pasta is submerged. Looking good. So we're just like this. Some of it can absolutely be peeking above it, just like that. That looks totally fine. It's going to cook perfectly. Okay, this is optional, but I love on my Italian heroes, guys, some banana peppers. It's a little bit of a spice, not overly so, but I think they're fantastic. They add a great tang, a little bit of a kick to it. I'm adding a 12-ounce jar, which equals about a cup, and I've drained it from the jar, so there's no juices. And I'm just gonna top the pasta with the banana peppers and just leave it there. I'm not gonna stir, I'm just gonna leave it just like so. And now we are ready to pressure cook. I'm going to secure my lid, make sure that I'm in sealing position. Now let's hit the cancel or the keep warm cancel button depending on your model, and then hit the pressure cook or manual button depending on your model. And we want to go, guys, for 6 minutes at high pressure. And while my pasta's cooking, I want to take a 12-ounce jar of roasted red peppers and then just slice those up. Just like that, all right? Let's just set this aside and we're gonna add this at the very end. Along with all this beautiful meat, of course. Who could forget about a nice big bowl of meat? Now let's take a package of Boursin cheese, any flavor you want. You could find this usually in like the charcuterie or fancy cheese section of a market. Or if you can't find this stuff, you can totally use about 4 to 5 ounces of a brick of cream cheese. And I wanna just take it and I wanna just chop it up into just large crumbly pieces here, all right? It's time to do a quick release. And the pin just dropped, so let's take the lid off. And there's our pasta. Well, not quite, it's underneath it. So let's just give everything a stir. And you see that, guys? It will have cooked perfectly and absorbed nearly all the broth. Okay, guys, final steps. Let's take all of that meat and add it into the mix, as well as our roasted red peppers that we've sliced up. And now let's stir that in with all of our pasta. Make sure everything gets nice and mixed up in there. And the reason why we're not adding in our roasted red peppers and our meat beforehand is because I want the peppers to have a little bit more body to them, and I don't want the meat to become like a weird rubbery consistency and then release all this oil when it cooks. It's perfect for a finishing touch. All right, guys, now we gotta cream it up a little bit because who doesn't love some creaminess on their amazing Italian hero? I'm gonna add in a half a cup of heavy cream or half and half, as well as my Boursin. Now let's stir that up until everything becomes completely melded into the sauce. Oh yeah, this is looking amazing. And now one final step is some cheese. And I'm gonna use a cup of some shredded Asiago for this. And I'm gonna stir that into the mix. And guys, look at this creamy, cheesy, Italian hero-y pasta, fit for only a godfather or a godmother. All right, guys, let's serve this into some bowls and try it out. All right, there we go. Look at all of that meat mixed in with all of our pasta and our peppers and that amazing sauce. I mean, I personally can't get enough of the peppers. And you can always feel free to top this off with some extra banana peppers because there's no such thing as too many banana peppers in my opinion. All right, delish. All right, guys, now let's try this amazingness out. Just look at how creamy and cheesy and meaty this is. Let's do it. Oh, and here it is, guys, a nice big bowl of the stuff. Let's try it out. Look at how cheesy this is and like creamy. And meaty. Literally, this is an Italian hero in a pasta. And I am so happy about that right now. I mean, you are going to be a hero or heroine when you make this. It's completely addicting. The flavor is tangy. Adding that cup of Italian dressing in there is everything. It's super key. And the meat, while it looks like you might be cutting up a lot, it's actually the perfect ratio for everything. It's decadent, it's incredibly indulgent, and I swear when I'm eating this, I just see visions of Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra with their arms around each other, doing a kick line and writing a song about it. I'm telling you, there's nothing that I find more comforting than an Italian hero with plenty of meat on there, cheese, and of course, like a nice balance of like an oil and vinegar / Italian dressing and a little bit of mayo. So having the cream in there with the Boursin and the cheese itself, it just makes it magic. Guys, give this a try for sure. You're gonna be very happy that you did. If you enjoy these recipes, go to PressureLoveCooking.com. I have tons of recipes there. Of course, Facebook.com/PressureLoveCooking and like that page for any time a recipe drops. Humor, tips, some stories that I share. I go live a lot as well with live Q&As if you want to come on with me. And of course, at PressureLuck at Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and all that other good stuff. Thank you so much again, guys. And like I said before, this is gonna be a pasta you can't refuse. Terrible, terrible. It's a good thing I didn't go into acting. But it's a good thing I went into cooking, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna eat this entire thing.